Hello and welcome to our show, Film Talk with AJ Dean. I'm AJ Dean, your host, and I have the amazing podcaster himself from Paul Vato Presents podcast, Paul Vato from Las Vegas. Hey, Paul, what's going on?
Howdy, AJ. Thank you so much for having me, and what a great introduction. I'm absolutely looking forward to tonight's show. You always book the best guests out there, and I think it makes for some amazing content. So thank you for having me.
We really do. Thank you so much. And I want to give a special shout out to Stevie Nicks. She's on her tour, and we're just wishing her very much well to get back to her tour. For all of her fans, we're sending her good energy and good healing energy for her and everybody there, because we love Stevie Nicks and all those great rock and roll dudes out there. So and goddesses. So I do want to say that, but I also want to say I want to introduce a very, very special VIP guest, and his name is Foster Corder. First, I want to give a shout out to the Angel. Thank you, the Angel, for referring us to Foster Corder. You are amazing. You're an amazing film and TV composer, producer, and record producer, the Angel, and we love you. But Foster Corder, I want to tell you, Paul, he is a writer, producer, director, DP, and a Vietnam vet. He's had over 120 IMDb film credits. He is an animal photographer, an educator, a web show host. He loves animals. He's got a beautiful heart. And we're going to talk more about his life. Let's give him a very, very genuine, warm welcome. Hey, Foster, how's it going?
Thank you so much. Wow, behind that introduction. And then Paul said, you guys have always have great hosts, great guests. And then here I am. I'm like, oh, man. So I'll try to
We have amazing guests. And Forster as well.
Yes. Well, I'm going to try to, keep the show flow going in terms of great guests. But thank you so much for having me. Major Stevie Nicks fan. That's a great look, AJ.
Thank you so much. I just wanted to.
Yeah. Oh, it's working.
A little bit of rock and roll here, and some of these. She usually Christine McVie had them, right? She was doing all this, right? So I just wanted to bring some good energy and great, some nice music into the beginning of it. But we want to talk about you, Foster, because you are an amazing film professional, and let's talk about something that's dear to your heart. Did you want to share something special with your fans and the audience?
Sure. That right now is a special time for me in my life, because I just had memorial for my dad day before yesterday on Sunday. And I don't know when this is going to air, but the bottom line, it was day before yesterday. And it was special because it's one of those once in a lifetime moments. And he was such a special guy. And I learned so much from his death and his life. And we celebrated. We had the memorial he was a bar guy. He always owned restaurants and different things like that, dry cleaners and stuff. And he was 96, and he belonged to the Eagle, a club in Santa Monica, Culver City, a private club. And we had his memorial there, and all these people that he touched and loved, and I learned so much. And I mean, I ended up on his namesake, and which really was extra pressure, but to see everybody that he touched and see what a wonderful life he lived, and he left here happy. At 96, he died at peace. And all of us, none of us know when we're going to leave here, but we hope to be that lucky, because, to die at peace, man, because, I mean, you should be ready every day, because most of us, it'll be a plane, a train, or somebody run a red light, or who knows what. We don't know. But he got to know that he was dying, and I took him home. All he wanted to do was get out of the hospital. So bottom line is, his life has inspired me to keep on going, and I thought I've done a lot in my life, and I've tried not to waste a life and take advantage of being alive and being able to walk and talk. But he actually gave me more inspiration to go and want to do more. So I just want to share for everybody out there, do more, take advantage of your life, because if you live to be 96, it's still short, but be positive every day and have that love in your heart and share it with other people, and it'll come back, because that's what my pop did. And, so they won't be so sad when you're gone, because that love will carry on. So anyway, enough of that.
Yes, your father carries on within you. You're his legacy, and you bring that beautiful spirit and beautiful heart that you have of your dad's and yours for the world. And we thank you, Foster, so much for that.
You lost your father, didn't you?
Yes, I did. And I loved him. We had the best dads, didn't we?
Yeah. Oh man, that's a blessing. Paul, is your parents still alive?
No, well, my mother, thank God, she's still with us in the Chicagoland area. And I lost my father also
Really?
September 18th, 2007, 2006, maybe.
You a Chicago guy?
I'm a Chicago guy.
Me too.
What?
Yes,
oh my
that's
God.
Southside, CVS High School, and the Blackstone Rangers. That's how I went to Vietnam. I forged my birth certificate at 15 to get away from the Blackstone Rangers on the south side of Chicago.
Amazing.
The president of Paramount Pictures, Ned Tannen, he bought my life story. That's how I got in the Writers Guild, because these guys, 21 grown men, and I was 15, and my brother, they beat us up, hog-tied us, hands behind our back, tied to our feet, beat me with a shotgun, had to get 32 stitches in the top of my head. The guy that did it, he's Jeff Ford, the leader of the street gang. He's doing 100 to 200 years in the federal penitentiary right now. He's a bad dude. And yeah, but that made me forge my birth certificate to go to Vietnam. And that's ended up how I got in the Writers Guild, because Ned Tannen heard the story. It was a whole, I had met him a year before, and I sold a script with Whoopi Goldberg, was going to do after The Color Purple. Then she got hot with the Academy Award, and that whole thing fell through. And in a year later, so anyway, but Southside Chicago, yes, I hope to get that film made one day, because it's about 5 guys who go to Vietnam together, and only one of them comes back. Well, 2 of them come back, but one of them comes back and commits suicide, because they call him baby killer and stuff. And I'm the only one that came back, and it follows my life through film school and all of this stuff and into today. So anyway.
Amazing. When AJ mentioned, well, for one thing, I was like, there's no way this guy was in Vietnam, because he looks too young, but it makes sense that you, but I want to say, of course, on behalf of all of our listeners, and I think everyone out there that's going to listen to this, it's, thank you for your service. I think, people have wised up since the times when you came back. You should have come back as heroes. It may not have been our war, but you were there fighting on behalf of the United States for that, and for to get the reception that you got, really was not the right thing to do. I mean, so it's great. I think now that people have realized it's not the soldiers. We're just war is hell, as they say, and I don't know. I've never been in that. But so thank you for your service, and I'm glad that your life has taken this amazing turn. But also, isn't that crazy that a bad experience, getting hogtied and hit over the head with a shotgun, then sent you on this maybe horrible experience to Vietnam, but then you've come back and you've done all this with your life from.
Paul, you're so right. Let me tell you something even more amazing, and I'll try to be brief, right? But talk about that bad experience started the journey, right? Totally blew my mom away. She was in tears. But after because I signed up for photography, but because I scored high on the test, but they said, no, you're in a special program. You're only in for 2 years. So the photography school is 18 months. So you're not going to get in and out like that. So you have to sign up for 4 years. And I was like, no way I'm going to sign up for 4 years. So they said, pick another school, right? So I chose navigation. Right. So that ended up sending me to school at the Naval War College in Newport, Rhode Island. And I'm going to be quick, but this is an important story, especially for a lot of people out there, especially young people young people, young Black kids and Latino kids and white kids that's growing up in the inner city, and you're poor and you don't have shit and you come from nothing, and think that the future holds nothing. Listen, I'm sitting on watch about a mile away from the base at the gate. I had a desk and a 45 automatic, and this drunk sergeant comes back, and I'm going to navigation school, right? And he comes back at 2 o'clock in the morning. He's from Alabama. He's pissy drunk. He comes in and he looks at me, staggers in. Carter, you're a stupid nigger. And I was like, whoa, Sarge, what's up with that? And he sits on the desk with his big, funky, drunk, alcoholic smelling, right? And he looks down at me and I'm sitting in the desk. He says, you're a stupid nigger. And I was like, Sarge, what are you talking about, man? And he's like, because, you're flunking out. And I was like, what? He's like, you think they want you here? And this is 1970, okay? So I was like, okay, because I was the only Black person in this class of navigation school going to the Naval War College, studying synoptic weather and Legrand and navigation, right? With all the officers. So he was like, you looked around, you ain't seen, but you stupid nigga, you doing exactly what they want you to do. You flunking out. And I was like, whoa, Sarge. And he said, well, if you wanted to really piss him off, you get your shit together and pass some classes. Right. And I was pissed off. I was mad. He said, but you ain't going to do that because you're a stupid nigga. And he got up and staggered on into the base. Right. And the next day he didn't remember anything. Right. But I sat there that night. I was fuming because I said I could have shot him. Right. I had a gun. I could have said he attacked me. Right. But I sat there for the next 2 hours and I thought about what he said, Paul. And you talk about a tragic situation. He was right. I was this young punk kid from the ghetto. I had a chip on my shoulder. All I had been taught was whitey and being angry and blaming other people for shit. And from that moment on, I got my shit together. I graduated in the top 10% of my class, and my life has never been the same. I'll be honest with you. But if I had stayed that kid from the South Side of Chicago with the chip on his shoulder, coming from gang banging and thugs and nothing but, that negative energy of life, I wouldn't have done anything, man. I would have flunked out of that school and I would have been in the Navy down pumping oil and other stuff instead on the top of the ship and plotting courses and reading stars and, that kind of stuff. So anyway,
Well,
let's talk.
Maybe not the best way to word that motivational speech that he gave you.
No, but
the way you took it then, and really it made you think, and then again put you on this projectile, this life that but who can blame you? I mean, you were a young kid. How old were you then in 1970? Were you still 15, 16, 17? How, you're a kid, know, so coming from these circumstances. So of course you've got this chip on your shoulder. That's all you've ever learned.
Right.
But I'm sorry that
Rhode Island.
And he didn't remember.
Oh, he didn't remember anything. He never remembered anything. But every time I looked at him, I laughed inside. But he changed my life, man. So, a lot of people, they look at different stuff, and we're not going to get into politics, but a lot of the negative stuff that's happening in politics, people get angry, but use it for food, use it for food to know if whatever party or whatever people or you're looking at and you putting that hate energy out there to them, thank them for letting you know that you're not getting any help. So you better do it yourself. You better don't look for help, do it your own self. So, but
Amazing.
let's talk film. I see you
Thank
got
you. Well, thank you for sharing that story. And I hope that people get something good out of it. But you're right. Like, let that negativity form, turn it into positivity, and turn it into something wonderful. And your life story, like, I think it does. It needs to get made. It needs. Is it written? Have you written
Yes.
it?
Oh man, that's how I got in the writer's guild. I wrote the script. Of course, it wasn't great back then, but it was, and they were going to make it. Paramount was going to make it. Again, the president of Paramount, Ned Tannen, he's one of the old school studio bosses. He was behind the whole Brat Pack and all that stuff. He was the president of Universal, then he became the president of Paramount. He's a legend in the business. He passed away, I think, in 2002 or something, but he blessed me, and he could recognize talent, and he could recognize great stories. So hopefully I can hook up with some of the hot producers and get my story told, because it's a story that a lot of kids could use to understand. It's not where you start out, it's where you end up, where you're going. And I'm still on the journey. I've been blessed to, I would have never thought. I mean, I produced all of the Hammer videos. I went to Capitol Records. I started the first African-American owned commercial production company in the country, right? And me and Johnny Simmons is a big cinematographer in town today. He does a lot of television shows. He's won Emmy at least once or twice and other stuff. But we started Blackbird Films, which was the first African-American owned commercial production company. We did the first McDonald's commercials that McDonald's ever did with minorities. The BB King commercial, it was a classic. Hate to put you down, with Mac Chicken. We did Sinbad McRib. We did 3 Day Blinds, California Lotto. The first Cal Lotto commercials we did together. We had Bill Duke, Stan Lathan, Kevin Hooks, Gordon Parks, Helene Head, Jorge Euler, Michael Peters, a lot of people. And then when I left there and went to Capitol Records, I produced all the Hammer videos. I was part of the team at Capitol Records. Mick Kleber, the vice president of, and he was a Marine. He was a Vietnam vet. And when he found out I was a Vietnam vet and I had ran a commercial production company, he gave me the job at Capitol, which was a blessing overall. I mean, it was a sacrificial land position because all of the white people at that time, again, this is 1990, and Rick James and Michael Jackson were the only people on MTV, right? So, and there were no African Americans and Black people in the music video industry at all. So all the white people were saying he's a token, he doesn't know what he's doing. They just had to hire somebody Black. And all the Black people from New York to LA who were trying to get into the industry were calling me Uncle Tom. He only wants to work with white people. So it was a tough position to be in, but I learned so much, and I did what was it? Young MC, Bust a Move, and all of the Young MC stuff. I did Great White, Mavis Staples, man. I worked with Mavis Staples and BB and CC Wine, and we went to Poland, Germany, and the Pope concert, and Mavis Staples and Angelica Houston are two of the most wonderful women that I've ever met in this industry, and they got such great spirit, and they're wonderful people. Angelica Houston, when we were doing the Hammer videos, right? Too Legit to Quit, and with James Brown and Hammer, is going to get their glove, Godfather, right? It was big. This is a $1.2 million music video. Right. And so in 1990, so imagine that, right? But that was the heyday of the music video industry and stuff. And it was, again, I was the first African-American had his job. So I'm writing checks, right? The $1.2 million, I'm writing checks to everybody, right? So the production company, and all of these white guys, they weren't used to taking orders or anybody Black being in charge, right? And so I was trying to be diplomatic. I never flaunted my stuff. As a matter of fact, I would arrive on the set of a music video, right? Big production. And I would park a block away and I would walk in and I go in the camera department and the guy's loading film and doing all of the stuff in the camera. And I walk over and I'd be like, wow, where's the DVD come out at? And they look at me like, security, Then the producer would see me and they'd be like, hey guys, this is Foster. He's from Capitol Records. He's the producer. And they'd be like, oh, and people would feel stupid for treating me like crap, right? But it was just my way, But these guys, they were doing stuff like they would have a meeting, right? Scheduled for 8 o'clock, right? But they would tell me, they would send message to my secretary and stuff and tell me that the meeting was at like 9 o'clock, And so I would show up and come in the soundstage on the Paramount lot, right? And we had the cemetery set up and all kind of stuff. It was just crazy, right? Huge, huge, huge production. I would show up and the meeting is already going. They're talking and stuff. And I would come in the big stage doors, and everybody would turn around. And then these guys would turn back around and continue talking. Angelica Houston, she would bust through the crowd. Foster, darling, and hug me, man, and totally break up the whole meeting. She was such a wonderful person. I wanted to kiss
Amazing.
her. And I never got a chance to, I haven't seen her since that production. I never got a chance to really tell her and acknowledge what a wonderful soul she was and how intuitive she was. She wasn't having that shit, and that totally changed it because she was a superstar. And Raul Julia, again, God rest his soul.
Yeah.
He was such a wonderful, me and his son ended up being friends until he passed. But those people, really. So anyway, moving on. I don't know
Amazing.
how to get into but
well, I mean, those were all such iconic videos, like everything that you mentioned. I actually worked with Stan Latham, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And when he was, I think, producing Cedric the Entertainer Presents, and he was amazing. I ran into him at a gas station. I was pumping gas, and he must have been pumping gas, and he saw me, and I had a funny line in Cedric where I was like this Mexican or Latino mechanic. So Latinos can fix anything, especially on cars. So my line was, I fix it. And I'm pumping gas, and all of a sudden I hear out of nowhere, I fix it. And I go, it takes me a second. I go, that's a line from Cedric the Entertainer Presents. I'm like, who the heck would know that? And I look around and I see Stan. I go, oh my God. So yeah, he was of course wonderful on as a producer there at Cedric
and director. Yeah, that's it. I met Stan through Johnny Simmons. They were friends, and that's how. And Johnny was my partner in Blackbird, So we broke ground. We broke ground with that and made it possible for a lot of people to come into the industry. And then when I was at Capitol, as a lot of people, makeup artists and people behind the scenes, cinematographers and different people who've gone on. Well, actually, some of the bigger names, and it's a lot of people that you wouldn't know their names, but Antoine Fuqua.
Sure.
F. Gary Gray, I gave them their first music videos. You couldn't melt a Black director down and pour him on a music video back in those days. Antoine was at Propaganda Films, and F. Gary Gray. Now, F. Gary Gray, I do love him because he acknowledged me when I saw him a couple of years ago, but he has on his resume on IMDb, his first music video was Waterfalls, don't go, but no, that's a lot.
Waterfalls.
That was his biggest music video. His first music video was King T with me. So
amazing.
Yeah.
Well, before we run out of time, AJ, how are we doing on time? Because I really want to get to the films that you're promoting. If people look,
Dolomite, it's right there on the screen. That's my new joint. Okay, I had, again, I've been blessed so many times. I had the fortune of working with Rudy Ray Moore,
Sure.
aka Dolomite, for
Dolomite.
25 years or 30 years. And I produced 4 of his movies. I directed the documentary, The Legend of Dolomite. I traveled around the country with Rudy doing his comedy shows, and we four-walled 2 of his movies around the country. I learned so much from Rudy. And again, at that time, there weren't a lot of Black filmmakers. You know, Fred Williamson, Jamal Fanaka, and Rudy Ray Moore were pretty much the ones that were doing it. So I was in awe of Rudy. I mean, again, that's a movie right there. Just like whatever that film that Oliver Stone did with Rolling Stones, not Rolling Stone, who was it? The guy that died. Anyway, he was a writer for Rolling Stone magazine, and he went on the road with the Doors. Was it the Year of Living Dangerous? I don't know. I can't. Anyway, but people know. But my story with Rudy is something like that, because I saw all the stuff Eddie Murphy did. Dolomite Is My Name, which was about the movie. I mean, that movie was about Rudy's life of making the comedy records and turning those into the movie Dolomite. That movie, excuse me, I got hiccups. That movie ended at the premiere of Dolomite, and my story really starts where that movie ended, because after Dolomite, I know what Rudy's life was, and it was a lot of funny stuff, but it was a tragedy too, you know, just like Robin Williams and people, you know, the people who are hilariously funny on the outside, there's a lot of stuff going on behind that people don't know. So, and a lot of the Black community, they didn't, you know, they kind of turned their backs on Rudy Ray Moore because they calling him vulgar, and he, you know, it was the Bill Cosby time. Everybody wanted the clean comedian, and Rudy was like,
funny how that turned out. Yeah.
And Rudy was like Minnie Pearl, sort of, you know, howdy. He was the country dude, you know, and very ghetto, you know. So anyway, but the Daughters of Dolomite. So in 1990, Rudy Ray Moore gave me the rights to the Dolomite character as a birthday present for helping him. And after Eddie made the movie, I pulled together a bunch of friends, man. This movie, and again, I'm sorry I didn't talk about it more. Maybe you can have me back sometime when the film comes out, but it's interracial. It is, everybody is in this movie. It's transgender people. It's like old people, old women, young women, Latins, Asians, Blacks. It's like, but it's the daughters of Dolomite. And today is 3 daughters. And the whole premise is, years ago, Dolomite was one of the judges of the Miss Los Angeles beauty pageant. And he Miss LA, Miss East LA, and Miss Beverly Hills. If they slept with me, make sure they won. Sure. And all 3 of them got pregnant. None of them won. And now all their daughters are grown, and their mothers are putting them out saying, it's time you go meet your daddy. And they all show up at the Dolomite Detective Agency at the same time. And he gets kidnapped, and it's a lot of good people in it. Hawthorne James from Speed and 5 Heartbeats. He was the bus driver in Speed. Everybody knows him from that. Kathleen Bradley, Miss Parker from Fridays, and The Price is Right. And for 20 years, Michael Collier, Joey Medina, Tori Hart, Kevin Hart's first wife, who's a comedian and a funny woman on her own. Sierra Carter, Josh Harati. I mean, I can't even, it's a 32, it's a ensemble, 32 speaking parts. Okay. Yeah, it is. And I mean, and I put it together on masking tape and rubber bands. And that's why it has taken me a year and a half to finish it. Unless, you know, somebody at Universal wants to come in and just help a brother out. And because, you know, my little finishing funds is minimal. It's like, we're talking lunch money, you know, craft service money on a big studio production. But this is, I ain't gonna even tell you I'm going to tell you, talk money, but you'll just judge the movie for the look. But I did as great a job as anybody could do with a little bit of nothing. And
and that's the thing, you know, a lot of times if you were to tell people how much you spent on it, they're not going to believe it because I'm guessing of how good you've made it look, because you have all this experience. My goodness, you've got all this amazing and the talented people that you've brought on, but also visually, I'm sure it looks fantastic. People are not going to believe what little you spent on it. It's almost better to not tell them, because then they'll be like, oh, if they hear that, they're like, it's not going to be any good, you know. And then when they see it, they're not going to believe how you were able to do it on a true shoestring budget. So
and I'm not ashamed of what the budget was, and I'm not ashamed of what the movie is and how it turned out, you know, because it's not about necessarily the money that you have. It's more about, you know, how you spend money that you have. And but it's the people, you know, my Dolomite, which, and I want to get this out there real quick. AJ, I don't know, you wave your hand and show me the clock or whatever. I don't want to go over on you, okay? I'm sorry. But this is the comedy. This is the Daughters of Dolomite. But the guy who plays Dolomite, Gary Sturgis, right? He is a beast, right? And this is a comedy. But what I wanted to do was to launch this franchise and then take Dolomite, the Dolomite character, and make straight Dolomite movies. I like to go along the lines of the Bourne Identities, and you know those.
Sure.
What's the guy? It's the action comedy. He wears the suit, the red suit. God, I got brain lock. I'm sorry. Looks like
Iron Man.
No, the other one. It's funny. He does the funny stuff. It's
Spider-Man.
No, not Spider-Man.
No.
God,
I'm gonna stop right there. How about you, Paul?
We'll figure it out.
Deadpool.
Oh, Deadpool, yeah.
Yeah, I like to go the Deadpool way with Dolomite, because nobody can do that comedy that Rudy used to do. You know, because that was original. Rudy was so bad he was good. You know, it's like he couldn't act. He was a comic. You know, but he didn't know he could act. He was giving his best, and that was wonderful. You know, and that's hard to recreate. But in 2024, I think that going to action adventure with some comedy with Dolomite would be really great. I mean, it would be great to become a Marvel character, you know, but once I get this movie out there, and if there's some studio executives that supposedly Black, I keep hearing Black is in Hollywood, you know, I don't, not in my neighborhood, nobody has come knocking on my door. So if inclusion is the word of the day, hey, here I am. Help a brother out. So,
well, AJ, if you don't mind, I think if you could connect us, because I might have some ideas or some people that might at least be able to take a look at it. And how great would that be to get a project from Film Talk with AJ Dean? That would be amazing.
Oh my goodness! Hey, and not only that, the money. Okay.
Yeah. There's the money too.
It's about sharing. You know what I mean? It's
yes, sir.
I think that's what it's about. It's about all of us helping each other out, and you know. So I mean, to get the project out there would be great, but to get AJ a new house, and you in Vegas, you could get 2 houses, Paul. We could.
That's right. That's right. Well, AJ, how are we doing on time? Because I know we're probably getting there. But also, Foster, I would love to interview you on my podcast, Paul Votto Presents, and then we can go, do a deeper dive, and if that's okay, AJ. I love all the guests that you always have. They're always such fantastic.
And I'd love to come on and talk about my other project that is the Compton alien abductions. And it's about where the Roswell spaceship was at 3 hours before it crashed at Roswell in 19.
Oh, amazing. Amazing. I love sci-fi.
Oh, it's great. And it was 3 black aliens. See, and the reason that the government has been covering up all of the UFO stuff, it was because that they knew of these aliens' obsession with Black people from Africa and the Egyptian times all the way until today. And so it's a comedy, but it's a lot of deep stuff in it with truth. Because, you know, a lot of alien stuff has been exposed, but nobody has exposed about all of the alien contact with African Americans around the United States throughout the years, especially in the South and in New Orleans area and in Texas and here in Compton. So the Compton Alien Abduction, Joe Alien, Chapter 1. I'll send you a little teaser on it, guys.
Please.
So, yeah.
Amazing.
So,
I love this
AJ?
so much. Yes, thank you. I love this. And I'll do an introduction email so you both have each other's contact information. Yeah. And with your permission, I'll give you each other's phone numbers. Is that okay?
Absolutely. Yes. Please.
Right.
Yours, you know, because and now, AJ, when you come into town, I mean, Paul, when you come into town, the three of us can get together. And if you don't come in soon, then AJ and I can sit down and break bread because COVID is over with. And, you know, we can just, you know, hang and talk shop and see what we can do together. But yeah, let's make some deals happen. That's why. And I'm not going to waste any more of your time, but later I'll tell you a story about it. Have I got 30 seconds?
Absolutely. Take it away.
Okay. All right. So I'm at Tisha Campbell's birthday party. It was a place called, I'm getting old. I can't remember. Anyways, what is it? Highland and Sunset, top of the building there. Birthday party, Tisha Campbell, everybody's there. Well, Will Smith, Wesley Snipes, all of the people who were just having TV shows then, you know, is everything. And all of it was Black Hollywood. And everybody was, you know, walking around and they say, hey man, hey, how you doing? Let me get your number. I want to call you, talk about this deal. And be like, oh, well, call my agent, Bob Stein, you know, hey, call my agent, Ed Jones. And, hey, call my, right? And then so 2 nights later, I was at Penny Marshall's house, right? With Wilt Chamberlain and everybody was the guy that owns Fox, Rupert Murdoch and Penny Marshall, what's his, everybody, God, big people. Okay, I can't even. I just got brain lock right now. But anyway, all of these guys and women, they'd be like, "Hey, Bob. Hey, Joan. Hey, let's get together and we'll talk about some deal." Oh yeah, here, take my number. Take my. And the thing I noticed is all of the white people and the Jewish people were sharing their numbers and trying to hook up deals. And then over at the Black party, everybody was saying, call my agent. So I'm saying to you guys, yeah, let's do some deals. You know, it's like, it's that mindset, you know, just get out of the blockage of life, you know, get into, just be free, be you, be open, help people, love people, you know, who knows, man. So anyway, I'll end on that because I probably made a bunch of folks mad.
I love it. I love it. In fact, I want to piggyback on what you said, Foster, with, see my cup right here? We've got Prince Harry and Meghan.
Wow.
I love them. This is one of my favorite cups. I got this from Amazon, but this is what I support. And I love this. So this is exactly what you're saying.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, people want to hate, man. People want to separate. People want to think negative, man. It's like, you know, one day you will find out, you know, and okay, I'm going to close with this. All right. I've been fortunate and unfortunate enough to have been close to death 3 times in my life. You know, once with the street gang tied up, once here, I got carjacked, Chicago, here in LA. And once I was in the hospital, you know, with surgeries and stuff, where you can smell death, taste it, feel it, know it's upon you. And the same 3 things came to me each time in the same area. And the first thing was, I wish I could say goodbye to my mom, right? And so now my mom is gone. And so now I'll be at peace because I know I'll be going to see her, right? The second thing was, did I take advantage of life or did I make excuses? You know, did I procrastinate? Did I say, oh, you know, I would, but I'm too short, I'm too tall, I'm too black, I'm too white. The white man won't let me. Oh, the Mexican this, the Italians did I make excuses like, oh, I'm gonna do it tomorrow, or did I go for it every day as hard as I can and take advantage of this life of being able to read and write and walk and talk and be able to see? So that's the second thing. And the third thing was, did I come here and take and take and take, or will anybody remember me for doing anything for anybody other than myself? You know, it's like, what did I give to this world? What did I do to enhance somebody else's life and someone else's existence? And for me, those three things are the meaning of life, because if you can't answer those three and be happy with those, you're going to die sad soul. You know, you're going to be laying there in your pile of blood or under the cover and be sad about you did not take advantage of life. You did not treat life right because you were so busy thinking it was about something else, or hating people, or trying to be selfish, or whatever it is. So with that, AJ, thank you so much for having me. Paul, thank you. I'll gladly do your show. I'll do whatever you want. And I look forward to seeing you guys more.
Thank you.
Yeah, just you know what? Just have your people reach out to my people and we'll set it up.
That's right. Exactly. All right. Love you.
AJ, don't share my number. I'm kidding, of course. Please do. Yeah. I can't wait to chat with you, Foster.
All right. So I hope I didn't ruin your show, AJ.
Not at all.
No.
You did the very best, in fact, and I want to thank you for being such an incredible heart. And we're going to do our heart messages. You know, I'm going to, like you said, do 1000%. If you have the day and you're still alive, take advantage of it. Thank you for your beautiful wisdom, Foster. Foster, we love you. We need you. And here's my heart message. Ready?
Yes. Hey, shower.
Keep singing.
Bring it, baby. Bring it. I can feel the love and use it. Oh, yeah. I'm showering in the good vibes. That's a wonderful thing. So I'm loving Film Talk with AJ Dean.
Thank you, Foster. And Foster, what's your heart message?
Well, life, man. Listen, my father's memorial was 2 days ago. My youngest daughter told me she was pregnant with her first child a week ago. So my heart message is just like, love, man, be at peace, help somebody, do something for somebody else every day, and your life will be full. So.
Amazing. And thank you so much, Foster, for being you. And I'm so thrilled to, and so privileged and honored with all of your beautiful life experience, what you've gone through, and you're a leader for us. And I thank you for being here in our presence. It's such a privilege and honor. And Paul, over to you for your heart message.
Wonderful. I love everything that you both have said. And I want to, take whatever experiences life throws your way, no matter how negative they might seem in that moment, but then turn them around and use them. Let that affect you, filter it out, and take whatever good comes out of it and let it affect your life in a positive way, in a good way. And I think Foster said this earlier, it's not where you come from, it's where you end up. You know, we can't help where we were born or the circumstances that we were born into. Realize that everyone has a cross to bear, and yeah, it's not where we come from, it's where we end up, and take those negative experiences and turn them into positives and let them affect you in a positive way and influence and inspire you to be a better person. So
Right. Keep
thank
dreaming.
you.
Dreaming.
Keep dreaming.
Keep dreaming. Well,
I love it. Thank you so much. That was beautiful, Paul and Foster. It's just so amazing. So usually I disappear behind my fan, but tonight I'm going to be saying until we meet again, and
yes,
can be behind the tambourine. So
absolutely.
until next time, au revoir.
Bye-bye.